Hi everybody, this is a demo I've done to help you with the week 8 homework, which asks you to work through a multi-dimensional array. And by multi-dimensional, we mean more than one level. So here we have an array called movies, and that array holds an array of data. It holds 3 different arrays of data. And often in the PHP world, you might get your data in the form of a multi-dimensional array. Some of you come from a JavaScript background where we deal with JavaScript object notation instead of what you see here. But you can think of this very similarly to JSON if you have experience with that. For those of you that are new to this, what I recommend is that you just format the array to take a good look at it. And we can format by using the printr and outputting a pre-tag before and after. That's the pre-format tag. So what I've just done is output the array. We have this outside array that has 3 members, and inside each one is title, director, and year. So the goal of this would obviously be to output the data. The movies, the first interior array, the second interior array, the third interior array. So we have our data. So what we can do, and I'll bring the code up and put it right next to the area in question, we can run a for loop. And let's say we know movies equals this entire thing, right? So what we could do is loop, and we start at 0 because it is an array, and we'll close the loop as soon as we reach 1 less than the length of the movies. And in this case, it's 1, 2, 3. So it would go 0, 1, and 2 on each turn of the loop. But inside of this, we have to go inside each array and get the values. Now that's an associative array on the inside. And so that means that we have to break it apart with a for each as. So when you think associative array, think for each. When you think of a traditional numerically indexed array, think a for loop. So we're doing for each movies. Notice the I here as key value pair. Let's output key, a colon, and then a value. And then after this is done, that's when the one element of data, or the array itself, this array, is complete. So we'll want to create some separation. And that's why we have the 4 break tags here, okay, or 3 break tags. So if I hit save and then hit refresh, there we go. Those are our sections. There's also, you'll notice, UC first, which stands for uppercase first. And what we're doing is going to the title itself, because the key up here has lowercase title, lowercase director, lowercase year. And just for formatting purposes, I'm going to use PHP inside each turn of the loop. And that's how we get that. Okay, so that's an easy way to do it. Remember, for loop for numeric, for each for key value pairs, or associative arrays. Now we're given another one. This is a tougher one, and I'm going to comment this out because we don't want any distractions. This adds a 3rd layer to our little fun. We've got array, 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 and then we have rose, daisy, orchid, rose, daisy, orchid, rose, daisy, orchid. I just threw the data. It's not, don't get too caught up on the pricing or whatever that means. I think it probably would be price and then the number of roses, but that's not important. What's important is that we loop through this, and we start by printr and formatting that array. So what I'm doing now is just checking out what the array looks like. And oh my goodness, it's 1 level deep, 2 levels deep, 3 levels deep, and then again with another level, and then the for each loop. But look, they're all numeric. So it's really not a key value pair, is it? We did print R with the movies, did we not? But if you look, there is no key value pair here. There's no title, director, or year. So how are we going to deal with this? Well, we're going to start by doing the for loop, have another for loop, and then another for loop. So this is the basis. You count with this kind of array, you've got 3 levels, all numeric, so 3 for loops. So you start with 1, then 2, and then 3. So I have for scalar I equals 0 as long as scalar I is less than the count of shop, I plus plus. So outside loop, only one member right now, could change, and it could change. We could have a second thing added, and that's why we want to keep it with a loop. We don't just start with shop 0 to get the whole array. That's not planning for the future. If we did shop 0 like this, we'd get that whole inner array, and then it would be 2. But the fact is, we're using what we just learned. If it's a numerically indexed array, we go with zeros. We go with numbers and for loops. So this is the inner array. This is that middle array right there. We'll count the shop and then the scalar I, and then we have k instead of the I and inside here. And we could totally just dump that. I'm going to hold off on it until I get done explaining this. But this is the interior I. And what's the middle I? And the middle loop. So what could be the inner loop? This guy right here. See, I'm doing count shop ik because it's taking the k, it's taking the I. We are 2 levels deep now. And instead of IKL, we're using L. So that's why L's there. But when I do this, the price would equal 1 because it's 1, and the quantity would be 2. And the total would be, this is the total. So the total would be equal price times quantity. So that's just working with what's in the array. I haven't really worked too much on this, but we're echoing shop IKL at this point, which is 0. So the price or the value is shop IKL on each one, and the total is this. So let me kill off the comment. I'm going to comment out my formatting, and I'm just going to hit refresh. And now I've got a rows, 125 times 15, that's 1875. 75% daisies, 25 of them is 1875. So we're just working with the loops. So again, this is kind of complicated, but I'm giving this to you as an example for the week 8 homework, where I'm going to ask you to do a little working with a complicated array. But you'll feel great once you do it. And if you go in organized like this with it formatted, you're going to get it fine. And if not, I'll be available to help.